nice and easy on the low end, keeping power to the ground. Holy crap. That is insane.
The anticipation of the Arctic Leopard XE800 has been long awaited, especially for us die-hard Ultra B guys. The Arctic Leopard XE800 has been long awaited and overdue for an upgrade. And for us Ultra B enthusiasts, this bike fits right in line with what we do and how we like to ride. Today, we're going to talk about what this bike has and doesn't have. We're going to get it on the trail, give it some real testing, and give you guys an impression of what you can expect from the updated and revised version of the XE800. We are out here with the guys from Cirrus Suspension and all the Arctic Leopard team, and we are testing the new F43 forks that are going to be going on this Arctic Leopard XE800, along with some different shock options as they try to decide what's going to work when this bike goes into production. The bike I'll be riding today is actually a race bike that just was in the TKO Hard Enduro. So there are some differences in what you receive in production, but I'm here to test the powertrain, how this bike delivers power, how it feels with the Cirrus suspension on board, because we all know from the Ultra B community that that makes an absolute massive difference in the way this bike handles on the trail and the track. So what you can expect out of the shock setup is 230 millimeters of travel, just like the Ultra B, with that bottom out protection. I know that I've taken huge hits on my Ultra B, so to have something comparable on this bike directly from the factory is going to be a game changer. And if anybody is building a bike in 2025 or beyond, having Cirrus on your bikes makes all the difference in the world. The next thing on this bike specifically has a Tech 310 millimeter rear shock. So it's going to be different than what you're going to see in production. So I'm going to have a little bit of a different experience possibly than you would, but the XE800 is going to come with a completely different rear shock, which should make all the difference when it comes to laying down all the power that this bike offers. So what can we expect in terms of power? Well, that's a big question, and this bike is going to come factory with 25 kilowatts directly out of the box. That makes a huge difference, especially when you're talking about what the Ultra B comes with. 24 and 25 cannot compete with 21 or 25 kilowatts directly out of the box, and it is a direct drivetrain. No more belts, which is not only going to dissipate your heat significantly, it's also going to make this bike quieter, but the sound and buzz of this motor going down the trail is one of the things that I like most about all of these Arctic Leopard products.
All right, so we're gonna make our way out into the woods, trying to see. So I can tell immediately that this bike is much smaller than the Sur-Ron Ultra B. I don't know if much is the right word, but it feels lower in the saddle, and it's just right between the SR and the Sur-Ron Ultra B, which I think is like a perfect size, and that's with an 18 to 21 setup. So I have this thing in D1, and we'll see exactly how it goes in that setting. The power is good. I think this bike is tuned a little bit higher. That's why I'm keeping it in the D1, because it has, this is a race bike. This isn't just a regular bike. So I want to see how it feels in a regular setting. And I think 1 will be the proper setting. So the way the power rolls on is feeling really good. It's not aggressive immediately, which I think is extremely important. A lot of people go for that power that's extremely aggressive right away. And in these types of terrain, in this type of situation, it is not always the best, because you just spin out. you don't have the ability to maintain traction on a rocky or steep surface. The Cirrus soaks it up as always. As always. I'm used to the Ultra B brakes, and that is a much different feeling. I don't feel that they're worse, but I do feel that they're different. Especially this rear, it's not nearly as grabby as what I'm used to, but overall so far so good. Holy Lord. This is a perfect example of why you need less on the low end. Because when you start going up hills like that are extremely rocky and loose, you can't have your your rear wheel disconnecting. You need to have a solid connection with the ground at all times, and this throttle delivery is really good. Now, I did just put the Ventus on the 24 Ultra B, and I'm feeling a very similar throttle delivery. Let's go try a different hill here. But, I mean, the Cirrus forks, it's just unbeatable. I don't care what you ride, it's just unbeatable. This is a rooty climb into a rocky climb. See, and this thing is killing it. Wow, that was really good. That was really good. Nice stanza. That was really good. All right, let's go down this hill one more time, because this is where I felt the brakes kind of fade the most. Yeah. The front brake is strong, but you're dealing with an Ultra B brake. Let's take this slow and see how it does. Oh wow, that climbs right up that.
There are a lot of small things that need to be changed in order to make this bike what it needs to be. This race bike that I got the opportunity to ride is an absolute incredible machine. It's just tuned so well for the style of riding. I also think there's going to be a lot of development within the Arctic Leopard XE800 line over the next couple of years, and as a market contributor, we kind of have to be patient with what they're doing. They're trying to compete with a bike like the Sur-Ron Ultra B, and up until this day, nobody has been able to compete with that bike.
That is so crazy. Sorry, Mike. The bike just makes you feel so confident. For anybody who's like a trail rider who wants to have the best delivery and is looking for a battery that can keep you going for many, many miles, this bike might be for you. Especially with all the drama going on with the Sur-Ron Ultra B. Somebody has to come along and fill the market. And honestly, this might be the one. Wow. I feel like this is most people's riding style right here. And that is, this bike does well in that. What I can say for absolute certain is we will be adding one of these to the stable, because this bike, I mean, the tires, holy crap, it just soaks it up. Now we are hearing some battery rattle, which has been addressed in the new production version of this bike. So, oh, this will test your suspension. Wow, it's good, but that battery's dancing around in there a lot. Nice and easy on the low end, keeping power to the ground, but a nice bit of top end too. Oh man, so good. I mean, I shouldn't even be surprised by the Cirrus suspension, but I am. Wow. And then it just eats these rocks. So crazy. So crazy. Bro,
I'm fine.
this bike is good.
There are some minor things that need to be addressed, like the brakes. The brakes squeal. That could just be an issue with the pads. It could be a bad pad, could be dirt and mud inside the rotor. Or inside the caliper. There's a lot of things there, so I don't want to jump to conclusions on that. The way that front fender flaps around is kind of annoying. It really reminds me of the the E-Ride Pro SR. It's in the way. It doesn't need to be that big. It's not flicking that much mud where you need that big of a fender. The position, the riding position, you know, on my Ultra B is bigger. This to me feels directly in between the Sur-Ron Ultra B and the E-Ride Pro SR in terms of seat height. So I stand a little bit funkier. My feet are usually dropped down a little bit. And on the production bike, the bars are really close to the top triple. I like my bars up. These are all little nitpicks, but what I would do to the bike right out of the box is make some changes to give it a better ergonomic a feeling for the way that I like to ride. The Cirrus suspension, I don't need to say anything about that. As you can imagine, this soaks it all up. It's going to be a great bike, and it's going to fill the need in the market for a lot of people. Is it better than the Ultra B? I don't think so, but that's okay. That's why we're here, and we want to see this progress over time to make this a true competitor for a bike and a brand that may be dying.